So this is the time I get to talk about the Wizardless. If you clicked on this video, you might be already familiar with her, especially if you're a Gen Z woman. But for the ones that are not familiar with the Wizardless, she's an influencer that started making videos for YouTube 3 or 4 years ago, and her videos are mainly about healing, self-confidence, beauty, and dating advice, all packaged in a very girl boss that's detached from everything and everyone, and I don't need anyone type of aesthetic. She's gained a huge following from these messages of encouraging women to know their worth, embracing and profiting off their femininity, and to never settle for less than what they deserve, especially when it comes to men. Now there's a big problem with this, and I will explain it to you. This all may sound okay, girl power, we need girls supporting girls influencers, that's nice, but no. In this video I will explain to you why her type of content is dangerous and harmful to young women. So let's just get into it. For some reason the Oxford Union, yes, that Oxford, invited her to a debate with the motion the commodification of women's body has gone too far, where she is on the opposition side. Yes, you would have expected someone who's empowering women so much will also protect the commodification of women's bodies, but no, she went into this debate believing that the commodification of women's body has not gone too far, which is already something that I disagree with. I just want to say though first that the whole debate has not been posted yet, so I do not know the entirety of her speech. However, I will use the clips that I found on social media and I will share them with you. This debate had also Liana Deeb, a Palestinian Uruguayan fitness influencer, Cameron Russell, a supermodel, author, and activist. She is a former Victoria's Secret angel, and both of these are on the proposition, which means they think the commodification of women's body has gone too far. And on the opposition side, there's Dana Thomas, a fashion and culture journalist, author, and advocate for ethical fashion and sustainability, and TheWizardLiz. At first, looking at this, it seems like I didn't actually look for someone who's in the field of gender studies or is a feminist researcher or something like that, which you would kind of expect since it's at Oxford. I expected it to be an academic debate, but I guess they went for something else. And even if they went for something else, I was expecting someone who was in sex work, either on both sides, I don't know. And initially they were going for Mia Khalifa on the opposition in the place of the Wizardless, but for reasons that I don't know, the Wizardless is on Mia Khalifa's place. However, I would really like to see that. Now this is what Liz said.
And I started making money from YouTube 4 years ago. After my first video went viral, I have around 20 million followers on my other social media platforms that I also make money from. If this was a man with that many followers, no one would question where this money came from. But because I'm a successful woman that grew myself up from zero, people have to credit my success to a man. And I'm going to decide to come out and start a rumors and make my money being a sex worker. I'm on YouTube with 8 million subscribers. I was signed and I started making money from YouTube 4 years ago. After my first video went viral, I have around 20 million followers on my other social media platforms that I also make money from. If this was a man with that many followers, no one would question where his money came from. But because I'm a successful woman that grew myself up from zero, people have to credit my success to a man.
Regarding this, first I want to say that I do agree that women are often doubted and judged by their achievements, while men are not as much. However, Liz has said multiple times that when she was 18 or 19, she was living off her boyfriends, and that she got out of poverty and away from her abusive family due to the money that was given to her by her boyfriends, which I'm not shaming on, but she has said that publicly on her YouTube channel. Besides, on her videos, she has said that her goal is to share with everyone the tips that she has gotten in therapy, which her boyfriend at the time paid for. So, I don't want to say it, but it seems like her YouTube channel even started because of her boyfriends. I'm not giving her boyfriends the credit, but I'm saying if she didn't have the help, maybe we wouldn't have the Wizardless like we have today. So it's already kind of weird that she's trying to deny something that's already so public and known. Then she also said this.
And they can pay for sexualization that's going to happen regardless. They will be forced into change. They will not want to see women in power, so they will have to do things differently. And for the first time, they will have to deal with the consequences of their own actions. Use the patriarchy and their system against them. Make them pay for their lust. Money is power.
Make men pay for their lust. I mean, I get her point. I I see where she's coming from, and to some extent you may use patriarchy in your favor. I won't be fully against that, I guess. However, I hate this message of men will always pursue lust, so give them that and at least get some money for it. That's just depressing and very harmful, because one thing is saying that to like adult women who already have their own kind of values, but her audience is mainly teenagers who are looking just for some self-confidence tips. So I don't like this. And this leads me to the point I want to make. TheWizardLiz is not a feminist, and her advice is not that good. Her advice, at its core, comes from a place of survival. For her to get out of the place that she was in, she had to profit off men, and she had to learn how to do that, and now she's sharing those tips, and she thinks it's healing, but I want to show you that it's really from a place of survival, getting out of poverty, getting out of abusive situations into situations that she thinks are better because she's earning something. But a relationship is not only financially transactional, you know? And I don't want to shame on her techniques, because unfortunately she probably came from a place where she felt like she needed to do that due to her family and her poverty situation that she has talked about. And this is the situation for thousands of women around the whole world. And this is a problem. It's exactly because of that that we need to talk about this. Because women shouldn't have to sell themselves or be in relationships only for money to survive. And sex work is not empowering at all, and I will fight off anyone who says the opposite. But that part is a topic for another video. But I am just saying that this is not the type of advice that young women should be getting. I saw in a YouTube comment someone saying, "You will never be free from oppression by building your life around the oppressor." That's pretty much all I have against this type of speech. Because at the end of the day, you can't build true self-worth on top of a system designed to devalue you. Like, make it make sense. You will never win. You can decorate it, profit from it, even temporarily win it. You think you're in control, but you're playing the same exact game built to make you lose, so you will lose. Now, there is a lot of speculation around whether Liz is actually an escort or not, because she has stated in her videos that she had transactional relationships when she was younger, and pretty much promotes the same thing in her YouTube channel. Some people have linked some of the backgrounds in her videos to many hotels in Dubai known for hosting escorts and their customers, which by the way is crazy. That's a whole lot of work, but okay. But this does not mean that she is for sure a sex worker. You can escort men and still not have sex with them. However, we can't even say that she is an escort just by this, you know? She can just be at a random hotel. I don't want to be assuming anything. For legal reasons, I'm also not assuming anything. Honestly, this is not the most relevant point. Whether she is or isn't a real issue. The issue is that she is promoting this mindset rooted in commodifying relationships with men. And that's what young women are absorbing. And we need to ask, what kind of aspirations will this type of worldview and teachings lead them to? I personally have watched her videos when I was younger, and I liked some of the stuff she said about self-confidence and knowing your worth, because I was a teenager and sometimes you need to hear those things, you know? But I was always so confused when she started talking about men, relationships, and how in these scenarios men should be providing for you and you should be expecting men to basically shower you with gifts as soon as they see you. I'm very much against all of this, and I believe that this type of advice is so harmful for young girls. First, it's damaging their perception about love and relationships. Love is much more than gifts and hotel rooms. God, it's so much more than that. Secondly, it's also ruining the perception they have about themselves. You don't need to have a bunch of surgeries and be beautiful to society's standards to deserve love and respect. That's a basic human right, regardless of how you look. And how much money someone makes should not be one of the standards when you go on a date or something like that. How much money or gifts your boyfriend gives you does not tell you anything about the amount of love and respect he has for you. No matter how many fancy dinners, how many Chanel bags, he can give you all of that and not have the single bit of respect for you or love. On the other hand, he cannot give you any of that for financial reasons or just because he doesn't want to. Maybe he takes you to a park And that's okay, because he can still love you and respect you very much. That's not what relationships are about, you know? If you want money, get a job. I'm sorry, but like, a relationship is your love life and your money is your financial life. But, you know, like, why are we mixing your salary with love? I don't know, like, for me it doesn't make sense. If it makes sense to you, congratulations. If you want to be a housewife, that's completely different. Still, I don't really agree with it. But if your husband provides for you and you have a bunch of kids and you want to stay home taking care of them, I understand. Now, just looking specifically just for men because they have money, no. No. This whole romanticization of escorts and gold diggers is terrifying, dangerous, and honestly disgusting. On the other hand, there's this contradiction which makes it all even harder to defend her, which is the hypocrisy. I don't want to be insensitive around this issue because what happened to her is awful. I want to clarify first that I'm very sorry for her husband cheating on her while she was pregnant. To me, that's criminal. That should be a criminal offense. It's such a lack of respect for your partner and it's just very sad. But when your whole brand is built on never tolerating cheating and you publicly go back to your partner who cheated on you while you're pregnant, you have to expect people to at least point it out, you know? Don't go acting like this is something out of this world. Now, I completely understand her. She is 4 or 5 months pregnant. She probably still loves him. And it's totally normal to want to forgive people. We are humans. Forgiveness is part of our human lives. I am not giving her backlash for her decision. I'm just pointing out the contradiction. After creating all this content around these types of situations and then she does it herself so publicly. Imagine her kid one day when they grow up seeing this whole thing, because it's all online. That's the problem with online things and posting everything online and sharing everything with everyone. Everything will be there for a long time, if not forever. I don't think it will stay there forever, but it will definitely still be available when their kid is old enough to search in the internet. God, it's so hot. Why am I from a southern European country? No. Anyways, regardless of any of this, I hope this situation finally kind of opens her eyes. I am not God, I am not the universe. Who am I to judge anyone? But I hope this finally triggers a real healing she has to do, which is stepping out of a place of survival into a real place of healing, saying, yes, I did this to get out of the horrible situations I was in, but this is not where I have to stay. I can get even better. I can find real love who does not depend on transactional relations. I bet she's already doing well with her YouTube channel and with sponsorships and everything that she has. I hope she also realizes that the type of content she makes and the type of advice she gives is sometimes a little bit more harmful than helpful. She keeps claiming healing, but all I have seen until now is survival, which I sympathize with. I understand the place she's coming from, but I can't stand by when she's preaching these things at academic debates about the commodification of women's bodies when pornography is more mainstream now than ever. I mean, have you seen Bonnie Blue? Have you seen Lily Phillips? It's insane what these women are doing. There's a Bob House. Obviously, this has gone too far, and I think in such an important debates like this, being held at important academic spaces should be taken a little bit more serious. I hope you like this video. Maybe give me feedback in which type of videos you like the most. I have done more like my experiences, I've done video essays, and now I'm doing like more social commentary. I don't know what this is, but I don't know, just tell me what you like, comment down below, subscribe if you like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye!